lawn maintenance crew, Ryan Rees, back. Talking about you cutting the auxiliary cord. There's a reason why we're not live. It's all Ryan's fault.
I didn't touch anything.
I know you didn't, but we're going to blame you for it.
That's the issue. You didn't touch any magic on here.
Yeah, we're blaming you.
This is the grid that the Bombers call home.
You're throwing the tee in the ground. If your hand's not shaking, there's something wrong.
I'm in my element, it's evident that there's levels to the game. I'm in my element, flow is like water, I'm forced to a fire, I'm feeling like gold. Gotta stay grounded, stay down to earth, following God and you grinding, you do as you told. I don't work to make you like me, but I'm front and center, word to Spike Lee. I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element, I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element, yeah. I'm in my element.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live in Hobe Sound. Slight technical difficulties starting off. We just blamed it on Seabiscuit biting one of these auxiliary cords, but we're back in action. We'll just blame Ryan Rees back for everything.
Either
he got out here
works.
at 3:30. He mowed the lawn, ran over one of the auxiliary cords, but 64 men have entered battle in the open division. We have 32 left. We're seeing numbers in and around 350 yards right now. There is absolutely no rollout. Martin Borgmeyer with the longest drive of the day so far at 369 yards. And
All carry there.
yeah, right now it's all carry. There's absolutely no wind. The ground is soft. And we saw numbers progressively get longer and longer and longer as the day went on. Martin Borgmeyer and Sam Judah at 405 yards yesterday with the longest balls. But what was your takeaway? You've been off the grid for a little bit. What was your takeaway from yesterday?
Yeah, I think yesterday was a lot of fun to watch, but one of the biggest takeaways is that the grid is forever changing. So in the morning, you're going to have a situation like this. I got to walk the grid afterwards, help pick up some balls, and a lot of them were plugged. And so this is all carry in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you'll get some rollout, as we've talked about before. 350 is the carry. There's a little swell down there. Get some rollout. So, yeah, what about yourself? What is your biggest takeaway?
How fast these guys are and the progression of speed over time. I mean, you have guys like Kyle ended up having the fastest ball of the day, a little over 230 miles per hour, and Martin was up there as well, and Greg Null looked great, Colton Casto. It's just they talk about their speed training and then bumping up the baseline of like their average like cruising speed. And today you're going to see in the round of 32 ball speeds in and around average probably 212 to 215, and then your faster guy is going to be in the 220s. But and what I want to see early on is just getting a lot of balls in play, because right now 450 points we always say is going to be the number to advance. And you're going to start seeing yardages get a lot closer and closer.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes in the first rounds you'll have yardage differences of 30, 40, 50 yards depending, who's up on the tee box. But we're seeing a lot of 340s and 350s on the board as of right now. But Martin Borgmeyer, Justin James ended up winning their first set along with Reed Russell, Brandon Flynn, and Zach Holton tied for first place, so they chopped up 300 points total, so they're in at 150 points. Jay Hostowski has 100, Jeremy Nowak, and Rob Tietmeyer.
This is going to be a really fun group. We've got some of the best hitters here in Group 1. Group 2 is going to be just as fun. Kind of the way that the points break down here is if you get first place, 200, second place, 100, and it kind of breaks down from there to 50, 25, and if you don't hit any balls in the grid, you get 0. And we will see here soon in a few hours of who's going to make it to the final rounds of 16.
Yep. Round of 16 is tomorrow. This is a 3-day event for the Open Division. 64 hitters hit yesterday. We had 4 groups of 16 hitters, and they chop the field in half every single day. So tomorrow we'll have 16 hitters and 1 man will be standing as the Hobe Sound champion. Want to thank Anthony Livingston for hosting us at the Polo Grounds here in Hobe Sound. Right now, this is an east to west grid. There's absolutely 0 wind right now, and we're seeing balls in and around 340 to 350 yards. But Martin Borgmeyer carrying it a little bit farther and getting some rollout. We mentioned it a lot yesterday on our telecast. You got to carry it at least 350 yards to get these bigger numbers, especially right now. Sean Johnson at 347, Brandon Flynn at 346, Matt Stubbs with no marks, and Colton Calcanis at 325.
Yesterday we were talking about how you can still make it into today's round if you have a couple of OB sets. But today, competition is so tight that it is so important to make sure you get a ball in the grid.
Absolutely. Zach Holton's going to be here in slot number 1. Zach Holton has been knocking on the doorstep of getting wins.
Really excited to see him. This might be his week.
You'll see Zach Holton with consistent numbers right now. 148, 217, 218. Good ball flight. Hits a tight little draw. Justin James, the same. They're very similar as of right now during this tournament in ball speed numbers and launch and spin. So this is, if you were gambling on slot 1 or slot number 2, this is more of a pick 'em. And both of these guys have different gears as well. Later on in the tournament, you're going to see these guys in the low 220s. JJ ended up going 230 last year at the World Championship with this Bridgestone golf ball. But this is a marathon, not a sprint. And you're going to watch these guys try to put a bunch of balls in play here. Slot 1 and slot 2, you have Zach Holton and Justin James. Justin James, the 2017 World Champion, world number 1 for several years. And, they're going to be in and around 216, 217, 218. And what we're looking at right now is spin and height of the golf ball. Yesterday, later on in the day, higher spin, higher launch was good. This is not a roll grid. And currently, right now, you got to hit it 351, 352 yards to have those bigger numbers. So a 365 ball right now is huge. Martin Borgmeyer with the longest drive so far in this session at 369 yards, but there isn't anybody within 17 yards of him. There's 2 guys at 352 and a 351.
Yeah. We've got a pretty big day here today, too, because we've got the Open, we've got the seniors, we got the women. Oh, and the women are tomorrow, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the amateurs. But who are you looking forward to seeing in each category?
Eddie Fernandez is coming back in
Yeah.
the senior division. He ended up winning it, the World Championships last year, and he's been putting up a lot of high ball speed numbers as well. In the low 230s, he's 52 years old. Jeff Gavin, world champion, multiple-time world champion in the senior division. And you got Robbo, who came out in the senior last tournament, and Mesquite took second. But you're going to have to, guys like Jeff Gavin, high ball hitter, this is really going to benefit him with this grid.
Yeah.
So it is a ball speed contest, unless the wind changes. If it starts to become more of an east wind like sets 3 and 4 yesterday, guys are going to struggle, to get it past that 350 benchmark. So I'm going to take guys that can hit it really high. And Gavin is your high ball hitter, and this grid sets up perfect for him.
We also have some newcomers, and so I'm really excited to see how they do in that senior division.
Yeah.
And I'm always biting at the chumps to see the women play tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune in for that. They've got some heavy hitters as well.
Zach Holton has turned up the heat here. He's at 220 mile per hour in ball speed. I like the height of this golf ball. This is the launch maybe could be a little bit higher. He's at 10 there. Maybe he's 12, 13. Carry distance is 360. He's at 368. So that is a monster drive. So Zach Holton and Martin Borgmeyer are within a couple yards of each other now. Zach Holton is, like I said, knocking on that doorstep of winning not only one event but multiple events. He was only a couple swings away last year in the World Championships from winning a World Championship, which Martin Borgmeyer did win. So Martin Borgmeyer will be stepping up here.
Yeah,
next.
His journey in long drive has been really quick progressions. He's learning quickly. He's having a lot of success, and he's keeping up that success, which is really hard. It's easy to come out, or not easy, but you can always come out and have a second place finish. But it's hard to continue to do that and be in the top 5 or 10 week after week.
And when you're watching this, now we have these 4 screens up here. You can see guys' dispersion, right to left, left to right. And Zach Holton, his ball is pretty much straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Justin James
He's a ball
is the same.
striker.
Very, very similar profiles. And, for me, it looks like I always say Justin James and Zach Holton are on autopilot right now, just hitting a bunch of balls in play. And someone that was on autopilot yesterday as well was Martin Borgmeyer. He got 5 wins in a row. Colton Casto as well ended up getting 5 wins in his first round of hitting. Those guys, Colton Casto, Kyle Berkshire, will be hitting next in the next group. But
I'm really excited about this group here. Isaiah Joyner, Reed Russell, Victor Bourget.
I just like saying Bourget.
Bourget.
It's Bourget.
Jeremy Nowak. I got a chance to talk to Reed and his family. He had a crazy travel story as well. I know you were talking about yesterday. A lot of guys, it was hard for them to get in. He was supposed to come straight in from Dallas. He wound up going to Atlanta, to Charlotte, finding a flight in Tampa, having to drive all the way to Tampa over here. Got in at I want to say really, really early. So
he said 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning, and still competed.
Yeah. Reed Russell finished second in Mesquite to Martin Borgmeyer, and Reed is hitting a similar profile to as Zach Holton and Martin Borgmeyer. Just really good straight ball flight. And another guy, Sam Judah, was hitting it great yesterday. Sam Judah with the longest ball of the day with Martin Borgmeyer at 405 yards. Jeremy Nowak struggled in Mesquite, came out yesterday.
Put
and
on
really,
a show.
Yeah, he started hitting the grid. And the swing man here in slot number 4, pro
Isaiah
ball player
just
as
put
well.
up a good ball. I'm interested to see if that stayed in. That might be like a 350-something ball. 351. I'm learning from Bobby how to guesstimate.
Well, I cheated because I had access to this grid last year and calling a bunch of drives as well. Zach, we talked about the senior division. Zach Adams was the first guy to go for 100 yards on this grid, and Zach Adams ended up winning the senior division last year here. But right now it's starting to warm up. There is some moisture on the ground. There still is. That will dry up. And I haven't looked at the wind conditions, but I thought it said southeast wind. So if that picks up, there's going to be a little left to right wind, which would favor a slight cut. But a lot of these guys are right now. It looks like most of them are hitting it straight. So like Jeremy Nowak, if you look at the profile of his last shot, he's just a little bit of a pull.
Yeah.
He's going to have to make a little bit of an adjustment.
Big shout out to all the volunteers and guys out there that are finding the balls and calling in the numbers. They're having to wear a hard hat out there because you never know where a ball's going to fall.
Absolutely. Right now you can kind of get a general idea that these guys are hitting it in and around 345 to 350 yards. And all of them are eerily similar in ball speed. And then it just comes down to a spin and launch game.
Yep.
And Zach Holton ended up hitting that ball a couple hundred feet in the air. And his launch was 10. His spin was in the 2000s. And but 220 mile per hour ball speed. So it is
Isaiah
a little.
Joyner had a really good set there with a lot of balls in play, which is that's where it really comes down to. I think it was fun listening to Martin Borgmeyer in the booth here yesterday, just talking about how that last set was kind of playing with a couple of clubs, seeing what club face really works for that spin, for that ball flight. And so today I'm really interested to see what he's chosen.
Yeah, this is the toughest set for a number 1 seed because the number 1 seed hits first, and then they have to wait several rounds or several sets in order to hit their second set. So it actually helped out Kyle Berkshire yesterday.
Yeah.
Kyle steps up, slot number 1, first out of the gates, goes OB. He had 25 minutes to make some adjustments. So
And he definitely made them.
He ended up going 4 or 5 for 6 in the grid, and he was able to reset. So Martin Borgmeyer has taken off in this type of format a significant amount of time. It's the most amount of time that he's going to have in between sets. So curious to see if he's going to take a nice smooth swing here and put some balls out on the grid. But
he always has a nice smooth walk in.
Yep. He looks extremely composed. Martin Borgmeyer in slot number 2. Look at that. Just a smoothie. 214, 2,400 spin, 247 feet in the air. Maybe a little bit too high, but he's smart. He knows that he has to hit it higher in the air to carry it farther right now because there is no roll.
He's got to get it in the grid.
Yep.
Get one, and as we see him often do, switch it up and launch it. It was really interesting to hear him talk about the timing, how he's really transitioned over to kind of a softer shaft. And we see that work out so nice because his transition from the top and kind of loading that down is just as good as PGA guys, if not better for some of them.
Sam Judah, slot number 4, is at 346 yards. We're going to just take a look at Sam Judah's height. Sam's a little bit more of a prototypical mid to low launch guy, so he's going to be in and around like 150, 140. And I mean, he knows that he's got to get the ball up just a little bit higher on this grid currently with the conditions, because they were fortunate enough to hit with a nice east wind, so they didn't have to worry about that 350 yards of carry. They were carrying it 370, 380 yesterday.
Yeah, you see him kind of lined up as if he's going OB right. It looks like he's trying to turn that ball over just a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, or just
extra
the hard pull.
The hard pull, yeah.
Just hit a pull, aim out about 20 yards right, and just hit like a straight pull, like they say a double cross without the cross, like without turning it over.
Yeah. And Rob Tietmeyer doing what he always does, put it on a smooth show.
Yeah, this one I like from Sam Judah, but 119 feet in the air. Did that carry far enough? Because that ball was 221. He launched it at 9, carried at 350, guesstimate on Flight Scope, which Flight Scope has done number 3 of the day. A phenomenal job of keeping all of the data for us. Sam Judah at 349, literally a yard away. So when he has to go back and make an adjustment, he hit that 121 feet in the air. Martin Borgmeyer went almost 240 feet in the air and got him by 1 yard. On a roll grid, Sam Judah hits an absolute monster drive on that last one that went 349. So currently this is a carry grid. So these guys are going to have to make adjustments, and the guys that are watching that have come on at 10 o'clock, right now they're making these adjustments.
Oh, they're already thinking, or if they're not even on the range, already working on that. I'm interested to see Sam's last number as well as Martin's 2 balls, because Sam hit a really good one for that last one. Sam Judah did.
Yeah. But Martin Borgmeyer,
3,
I don't know if he's a veteran now. I mean, he's like in his prime right now. But
yeah.
Borgmeyer being a veteran, knowing that he has to hit, let's put a couple balls in play. He knows that he's the fastest guy on that tee box, which Sam Judah right now is looking fast as
close.
well.
Yeah.
But Borgmeyer puts a nice ball out in play, gives himself a number that he knows more than likely will take a first or a second, and then he builds on his 350 and goes 367. So the 3 longest balls of the day, Martin Borgmeyer's got a 369, a 367, and a Zach Holton's got a 368. 220-mile-per-hour ball speed plus, hitting it a little bit higher in the air. They're carrying it farther, and you're seeing a drastic change in yardage. You got to hit it, now I'm guessing 353, 354 in order to get that rollout and get 10, 15 yards of roll.
Just a little bit. And I'm interested to see how many balls, how long Martin actually carried the ball, because some of these are not getting even 10 yards.
So Borgmeyer in the lead after 2 sets at 400. Zach Holton and Justin James. Zach Holton's at 350. Justin James is at 300. Reed Russell's at 300. Brandon Flynn, Isaiah Joyner, Sean Johnson, and Sam Judah. And Jay Hostowski are currently in to go into the round of 16. But this is early on. Things can change quick.
Yeah, we're just starting set 3. Oh, we're about to start set 3. We're finishing up set 2. And Rob just hit. He's hitting again, slot number 4, which can be a little bit tough. But
Justin James with a 359. So JJ's, no doubt he's going to be working on the height of his golf ball. That one's 168. And if I had to guess, just a profile, like, JJ 170, 180 in the air, 2,300 spin. Those numbers look really good here.
And we already see a change from his first set.
Yeah. Just got to get the ball up in the air just a little bit more. But if the wind picks up, Justin doesn't have to make an adjustment. But right now, just because of the wind, or just because there's no wind and it's a carry grid, he's going to have to make a slight adjustment to maybe launch it just a little bit higher. Colton Kalkanis at 325, Victor Bourget at 322, and Rob Tietmeyer at 315.
So we're talking a lot about kind of the spin and the height, the apex of the club. Why is that important? And what's the averages for like a PGA Tour player?
You would probably know those averages better than I, but I think the average of a PGA Tour player is right now in ball speed is 172, somewhere in that ballpark.
Right, yeah.
And I know these guys want to spin it more, a little bit more. They want to
keep it in play.
Yeah, absolutely. They want to tighten their dispersion because those fairways are not 60 yards wide like a long drive grid. And granted, there's 4 guys on a tee box, so the 60 yards, it may be 40 depending on some of the slots that you're in. But Justin James on his 4th ball, I really liked his ball flight, 220 miles per hour, and he was at 58. So those are going to be hard to catch with the guys on the tee box currently, just because JJ's a 220 guy right now, and these guys are really good ball strikers, being Colton Calcanis, Victor Bourget, and Rob Tietmeyer. These guys really need the ground to help them out, and currently, and this is a ball speed contest and a carry contest.
Yeah, I would say they're definitely
blowing
these those stats out of the water.
These guys need the ground.
Yeah.
Colton Calcanis, Victor Bourget, and Rob Tietmeyer are, as I said, they're some of the best long drivers on the planet. But right now, this is purely comes down to ball speed.
Yep.
And Justin James is 15, 20 miles per hour faster than these guys. And then there's a reason why currently he's 34 yards farther than for them in this set. So waiting for an underline on Colton Calcanis. But currently he is in the lead, or in second place.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to take down second, so Colton Calcanis. And that's the good thing about these ball strikers. They got to just keep hitting balls in play, because Colton picks up 100 points. He might take a win here.
Second.
Yeah.
Take a win. He's in. One thing that I love about Justin James, if you follow him on Instagram, is that he also teaches how to create speed and distance with the power that you already have. So many people don't utilize the power that's already in them, and they're trying to hit it further by doing a lot of different things. And I think he exemplifies that perfectly out here. He holds so much power, and he's able to really use that efficiently.
Yeah, Justin is a great follow on Instagram. I mean, I've been doing this a really long time, but I learned a lot from watching Justin's videos as well, and him and Kyle and now Martin. I always got to put Martin in now. But, like, Justin and Kyle have been the most consistent and the best long drivers on the planet since 2016. JJ comes in 16, makes a final 8. I think he came runner-up in 2016. Does have that professional background. Then he wins the World Championship in 2017. He's world number 1 for a couple years, and then Kyle Berkshire comes along and makes every TV final, and he started winning in 2019. Kyle wins the World Championship in 19 and 21, won the national championships in 2020. So Justin James and Kyle Berkshire have been at the pinnacle of this sport for the last 7-8 years.
And able to really be consistent and stay there for a while. So it's a lot of fun to watch them.
And we talked about yesterday, especially Martin, JJ being an introvert.
Yeah.
The guy's a killer. He's the man.
There's this great book called The Quiet of introverts that are leaders, and that's what I would say JJ is.
JJ is an absolute stud, and it was fun when we were in China in 2018. We're all out. Well, you were there as well. And he just came out of his shell, him being the snapping turtle.
The turtle came out.
The turtle came out, and we're like, where did this come from, And guys, we know he had it in him, but Justin is just, a first-class human being.
Comes from a background with a dad that is a champion as well.
Yeah, Jerry James with 2 senior division world championships. Jerry's out here today. But Justin James is an amazing human being and also an amazing long drive competitor. Yeah. So Reed Russell, 349. Reed's just cruising along in this tournament as well. Reed's at 300 points after the first 2 groups and just puts out a nice number at 349. So Sam Judah, let's see these longest drives of these guys. All right, so Sam Judah is at 349. Sean Johnson's 347.
And Sam's got more in him.
Yeah, it really, truly comes down to carry. Can these guys go 216, 217, 218, hit it 180 to 200 feet in the air, control spin? Because I think that these guys can get in the mid-50s, even in 360 range.
Yeah, Sam just had a good one before here, so I'm curious to see where that falls on the grid. One of the funny things about Reed is I was asking, what does he do during his free time? And his wife goes, watches long drive videos, practices long drive.
Yeah.
And she comes from an athletic background as well. So I said, how do you help? She was a dancer, a twirler. She's like, maybe I can help with body movement. But outside of that, he's working and then practicing long drive.
Yeah, he's a professional athlete. He played with the Houston Astros, Reed Russell, and he knows how to prepare for games, and he knows how to prepare for a long drive season and a competition, and he's showing that. And whatever you can pick up, like I just said with Justin James, there's things that Justin James said to me that I just I go in and I take that into a speed session, and I might pick up a mile per hour average.
We're just trying to see what we can learn from them,
Absolutely.
And we'll see what we can do next after this.
you can compete for your shot to make it to the World Long Drive Championship. With a $25 community membership, you'll get the opportunity to join a local qualifier in your area in hopes of advancing to regionals, a 10% discount on merchandise, and insider access to pre-sales and registrations in the newsletter. Join now at worldlongdrive.com. Catch every single World Long Drive Tour competition right here on the World Long Drive YouTube channel. The amateur, senior, women's, and open division championship will be available on the Golf Channel. To stay up to date on everything WLD, follow us on social at World Long Drive.
Hey, is there any way that we can also interview them?
Yeah.
All right. And we are back here on the grid. Exciting group of 4 here.
We're trying to get Seb Twadel in the booth. A gentleman
The
that ended up
Aussie.
hitting, going 240 and just trying to pick his brain. I mean, he's climbed that speed chart so much, and we talked about it at dinner a couple nights ago. Was just me sitting in the booth. If I have to be hypercritical, it's like, you're fast, but you got to hit a lot of balls in play, and I'd like to know what adjustments he's going to be making. Because him and Matt Stubbs, they're all in this year. They're going to be flying literally all over the world, competing
Everywhere.
at all these events. And, for me, I'd like to see Seb make some changes and try to change his mindset. And he did make a little bit of a change in Mesquite where he kept hitting these big left to rights. And I mentioned, try to hit a draw. Like just change something up just a little bit. And he ended up tightening up his left to rights, and he ended up advancing further on in the tournament. And I know that he's not happy with the finish yesterday. Like we talked about, Costello and Seb Twadel are kind of the surprises that should be in the round of 32, if not the round of 16, if not the round of 8, and competing for a title. And but he's 22 years old.
He's got plenty of time. I think
Yeah.
a great example of that is Martin. Looking
Yep.
as he shared his journey yesterday, he's been a part of the sport for a while, and a lot of it was speed. Then he figured out direction and club face, and now he's out here winning world championships. So I think, Seb's only been at this for a few months. I see him succeeding pretty quickly.
Martin Borgmeyer, Zach Holton in slots 3 and 4. Borgmeyer at 51, Zach Holton at 355. Last set, Reed Russell and there was a tie, Sean Johnson at 349 apiece, and then Sam Judah ended up going 345.
The ties are kind of tough, especially when every point matters.
Yeah.
You're splitting that. You're splitting those points. So
Martin Borgmeyer has shown if he center punches this, he's in and around 367, 369. So potentially there's a 370 ball out there. But right now, Martin Borgmeyer retakes the lead at 359 yards against Zach Holton. Zach Holton with the second longest drive of the day at 368 yards. Those two guys in slots, 3 and 4 are going to win a lot of golf long drive tournaments. They're there. Like, I'll say it for the third or fourth time today. Zach Holton has been a few swings away from not only winning a world championship but winning in Mesquite. He's giving himself those opportunities to get wins, and he puts a lot of balls in play, and I really like his shot shape. It's a little bit of a tight draw, and Borgmeyer with the first yell, 223.8.
Straight down the middle.
Let's look at his launch. I like the launch at 14.1, and I like the apex
Love
at
the height.
226. This one's going to be a monster ball from Martin Borgmeyer right down the middle. He talked about his sight line. There's a porta potty. There's a porta potty right down the middle. So he's like, I'm going to be either 5 yards right of that or 5 yards left of that. So he went 5 yards right of the porta potty, and he went 367 yards.
So I wonder if that's the porta potty for the players.
Probably not. That'd be a lot. That's about 800 yards from here.
But
Martin Borgmeyer taking down the set at 367 yards. Zach Holton at 355. Jeremy Nowak at 351. Matt Stubbs still working on a number. Not sure if his sixth ball went in play or not.
and you can see the humidity. It's pretty hot as we're getting started this morning, but it's only going to get a little bit warmer. That grid's going to dry out a bit. We're going to see some roll eventually. But right now it's fascinating to see how far these guys are hitting. as they're just kind of throwing in. But look who we're about to have
Here comes Seb. All right, now we're live on YouTube here. I actually have the chat going on. So guys, Seb Twadel is going to sit in here, the 22-year-old stud.
Too kind, Bobby.
Looks like he's a
The
Aussie
currently the-
rules football player. That's what you look like.
Yeah, that's it. Try to, anyway.
So how tall are you? What, 5'4", about 163 pounds?
No, more like 5'3", 135, I think it is. So, yeah, not very big.
Wow.
But Seb Twadel pushing the limits of speed, 240.8. Talk about your journey. Talk about getting into the sport of long drive and where you're at now and where you want to be here in the next 5 or 6 months, because you're traveling literally all over the world and hitting it every single tournament.
Literally all over the world at the moment. So, yeah, 13 months ago is when I first started long drive. That was coming off just competitive amateur golf back in Australia. And, yeah, as soon as I committed to that, that was the end of the golf. And from there, everything was just evolved around being the best long driver I could be and becoming the greatest in the world eventually. And yeah, I feel like we're well on our way to making that happen. And yeah, it's just all part of it.
What was that moment like whenever you were like, I'm going to do long drive? You know, everyone has that moment that you fall in love with the sport. What was your fall in love
It was literally my first speed session. After that, I was like, you're hooked. It's like playing golf for the first time. Like, you do it once and then it's like, I just want to keep doing this and keep getting better. And yeah, that was.
I remember seeing your first video, and Lee posted you. Really nice golf swing. I mean, you've been playing golf for a long time.
Yeah, for about 10 years, and then just wasn't getting the results in the tournaments I was doing, and it almost felt like I was sort of stuck in Australia and didn't know where to go from there. And yeah, like after the numbers of my first speed session, I was like, this is something that I can actually pursue and get something out of it and get over to the States and actually make a name for myself. And so yeah, that's sort of the pathway.
Well, you've made a name for yourself.
You're doing
really
that
fast.
right out of the gate.
Yeah, we're just getting started. Still plenty more improvements to come, but no, it's been a good journey so far.
So you and Matt are traveling not just to the States. Y'all are playing almost every event that World Long Drive
Literally
has.
every event.
Can you tell
that
me a
they
little bit
have.
about your journey of where you're going, what you guys are doing, and are you going to be able to spend that much time with him?
We're we actually live together, so we've had.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we know how to keep each other's nerves and all that. So, but yeah, after this event, we fly to Germany on Monday for a European long drive event, and then back to Mesquite for that one, and back to Germany again after that before heading home for a few weeks. And after that, it's literally 3 to 4 months on the road, just back and forth between here, Europe, Asia, and so yeah, there's a lot of travel in that. So racking up those frequent flyer points for sure.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to be executive platinum on whatever airline you guys are on. Isaiah Joyner 349, Brandon Flynn 345, Jacob Galladay at 340, and Sam Antanasio at 337. All right, so obviously not the results that you wanted yesterday. What changes are you going to make, or what are you going to be working on moving forward?
Big part of it, I feel like just managing fatigue and hydration and all that. Honestly, I felt like I was swinging it good and hitting the ball good. Just after that first set, I just felt like the energy levels just dropped off completely. So yeah, managing the heat, weather conditions and all that, and then yeah, refueling, hydrating properly. But yeah, in terms of ball flight and actually hitting in the grid, it's something I'll have to speak with my coach, Craig Parker, about. And yeah, we'll just figure out a solution. But yeah, just stick to the same process and just make a few minor changes. And
you know, that's one thing people don't really realize is you guys are burning a ton of calories out here.
A lot of calories, yeah. I think, when was it? Last event at Mesquite, got to the event at like 118 kilos, and by the end of it was like down to 112. So just losing 6 kilos of just from hitting, which is
so figuring out that regimen of what to put in your body. What's your go-to snack?
The go-to snack? Oh,
Vegemite.
No, I'm not a Vegemite fan. Australian, I hate Vegemite. That's.
Do you drink Foster's?
Drink the what?
it's so funny because they always say no plugs, but Outback Steakhouse they always say Foster's Australian for beer, and like as Aussie guys are like, what's Foster's? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, that's first time I've been hearing of that one. But yeah, sucker for the gummy bears as you guys know and tried yesterday. It's key for speed for sure. Get
I
some
guess
going
I'll ask
goes,
the
yeah.
question about your swing. I know that you've been working on speed. Obviously, you're getting faster and faster and faster. You almost hit 170 mile per hour club head speed, 240 ball speed. Are you going to still take that swing moving forward, where you kind of bounce the shaft or like set it and then reset and then set and go?
Yeah, so eventually that's just gonna turn into like one motion. Initially, when we first started doing that, it was a drill to keep the width because my arms would just collapse into the body, and it just wasn't very efficient just for speed as well. So, yeah, once we first did that, I think we jumped up 8 to 10 mile an hour just from doing that drill from my main swing, and then we really started just pushing at that, and that's where the 169 club speed came and 240 ball speed from there. So, but yeah, eventually it's going back to that one motion swing, but yeah, just really trying to ingrain that.
We saw that from Kyle. You know, there was a year there where he was doing the seesaw, and now he's really fluid with it. And so he was putting essentially what you were doing to practice, and eventually it became a fluid swing. And so that's
just
very
ingraining those motions.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Until they become part of a natural swing.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get more grid time. We talked about that a couple nights ago. You guys, and it's cool that you guys are going to be able to travel literally all over the world and compete, and you're going to learn as you go, and you're going to get better and better and better. And you know, there's certain things that I've watched. Like I compared you and Sam Judah last year together, where you guys are really fast. You're in and around 220 miles per hour. But you were taking up a lot of room left to right, and then I was like, let's tighten up that dispersion, and we're seeing Sam Judah make that adjustment. So I for me, like I want to see you make those adjustments, because for me the last 3 or 4 weeks of watching you guys climb that speed chart was awesome. That was so much fun. Where one guy beat it's Greg Null, then you, then
a few hours
Kyle,
later
then
someone
Mark.
else would break it. A day later someone else would get it.
You got to wake up at 2 a.m. and I got to beat this.
You got to watch live streams.
So
and
we've
all
been watching a little bit. Can you tell me what you've been seeing out of these guys this morning?
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the human conditions, but the balls, whether the ball reacts that way, just not flying as far, and then grid conditions as well, maybe a bit soft, so it's not getting much rollout. But yeah, number wise,
Look at this group right here: 353, 350, 352, 335. You got Sam Antonaccio, Zach Holton, and Reed Russell within a couple yards of each other. This is purely a carry grid. And I go back to the 2018 World Championships when Maurice Allen, he literally was carrying it a yard farther or 2 yards farther than everybody, and ended up winning a world championship. And I remember
it was raining.
I remember the ball that Ryan Riesback hit against Maurice. If it was a roll grid, like a couple of the balls that Sam Judah hit today, I mean, it's
just
over.
gone.
Like, Riesback was on fire, but you know what? Maurice had it down. He's like, I know that I got to carry it. I got to hit it 190 feet in the air, and I got to carry it, whatever.
You guys are scientists. Y'all know exactly what you need to do.
just like PGA Tour players, how they calculate everything.
Everything.
Everything goes into that.
So, talking about calculations, we got a YouTube question. This is a really good one. You might have to think really hard.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
How much do you squat?
I don't squat anymore.
What?
I don't squat anymore. My max squat was 230 kilos. So
it's like $1 million.
Whatever that is in pounds.
Yeah, it's
maybe
like $1 million.
3 million?
4 million.
Yeah.
Four and a half.
So then, what does your workout routine look like?
Our trainer Hayden Edgerton back in Australia, he's designed a program for us where it's like 4 to 5 times a week, just dialing in with everything, like the smallest sort of details. And I won't get too much into it. I don't want to give away too much.
Give away your
things,
secrets. It's
but
okay.
That's
we'll talk
been
about it
huge-
off camera so I can learn a little
so
bit.
You can learn a bit, exactly. Get the speeds up.
Zach Holton, he'll be into the final 16. He's at 650. Martin Borgmeyer still hasn't hit his fourth set. He's at 600. Justin James needs to hit a bunt and play. Reed Russell's at 500. Isaiah Joyner needs to put a couple balls in play. Sean Johnson. So this is kind of playing out as we expected, checking off some of the guys that we thought that would be there late. And, right now, Zach Holton looks number 4. Phenomenal today. He looks good. Looks good.
Just to you guys in the YouTube, please give us as many questions as you have, especially while we have Seb here in the studio, the makeshift studio. We would love to
Beautiful
make sure you
studio.
get those answered.
Yeah, I enjoyed having dinner with you and Matt a couple of days ago. We ended up going to the woods and having some good food. Matt being very outgoing, and then you're just the quiet. You're a quiet guy.
Back, just listen up, and
you're kind of similar to Justin James. Like if I had to compare you, like personality wise, like you and JJ are pretty quiet.
just sit back, listen to what everyone has to say.
Absolutely,
and take it in,
you're taking it in. So, but yeah, I said once again, watching you hit and just push the speed chart has been crazy. And I kind of used the analogy to baseball that 220 mile per hour was the 100 mile per hour fastball in baseball, X amount of years ago, and now like 220 is like 92 mile per hour fastball.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
How fast do you think you can get up to? What do you think the fastest ball speed you could hit if you center punch one? What's your goal?
I don't want to put a cap on it, but 250 plus I see happening in the next.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you swung 170, what's the
so
math on that? What is that?
We've had a number for ball speed and club speed on our fridge for the last 6 months. I won't give it away. Just
197 mile per hour club speed.
Yeah, we've
Justin just putting up a big
well on the
number
way to
there.
making that happen.
Yeah. Well, JJ at 358, cruising along, and Sam Judah at 345. Sam's just got to get the ball up just a little bit more. Matt Stubbs, your boy, 346, 346. It happened yesterday where Galladay kind of came from the clouds in round 3 and ended up getting a win and a second place to get into the round of 32. So where is Matt Stubbs at currently? He's in 16th, but a win, Matt Stubbs can get in, but JJ is literally on autopilot.
So if you were Matt's caddy right now, what would you be telling him?
Just to stick to the processes. He's he's been working on that draw on the range, so it's just about trusting that out on the grid and just taking that same feeling and just committing to it, really.
Awesome.
Justin James with 4 balls out of 6 in play, 360 yards. He takes it down, waiting on Sam Judah's last number. Once these numbers are underlined, that is the final. JJ is locked in at 360. Isaiah Joyner, 334.
Digging his outfit too.
Yeah,
I'm
Isaiah
all about
Joyner
the
needs
fashion
to.
here.
Yeah, he.
I've got to
Isaiah,
get the fits down pat for the grid. Got to look the part.
I would say Isaiah Joyner is going to get in. He's going to be at 475 points. He probably needs to hit another ball in play. He can take a third and be in. Still waiting on Matt Stubbs' number. Matt Stubbs is confirmed at 346, so he'll take second in the group. Zach Holton's in. Martin Borgmeyer's in. Justin James is in. Reed Russell is in. Isaiah Joyner, more than likely, he is in. He's going to be at 475, needs to put a couple balls in play. Sam Judah is going to be on the bubble currently at 250 points. And, Sam Antanasio, it's a name that was first time I saw yesterday, and he's looking really good.
He's been looking really good.
Yeah, very solid.
All right, so I got another question for you. So a lot of the American players' background comes in baseball, track, basketball. You guys have a lot of other sports down there. Did you play any other sports before?
I did. So I did NRL for a bit when I was like primary school sort of years, year 6, year 7, and then I actually did baseball for 10 years as well growing up. So
what's NRL?
Rugby.
Oh, rugby.
Yeah, rugby.
Yes,
whatever
rugby.
that's cool for you guys here. But
It's called rugby.
Rugby,
It's called
yeah.
soccer.
Soccer.
It's called soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah, rugby is called soccer here.
But just baseball for 10 years, and then obviously into the competitive, just normal golf, and I feel like baseball, maybe even ice hockey as well, seems to have a good carryover for long run.
yeah.
What position did you play?
Pitcher.
Okay, yeah,
Pitcher.
we talked about pitchers
We did.
yesterday. Just it's a little bit easier to swing the golf club with pitchers. The sequencing's similar, and for me, I thought in
get those
pitching
separations going as well, and
Yep.
get some hand and arm speed as well.
Absolutely.
So you've
Have you
got-
ever fought a kangaroo?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Fought it through crocodiles and sharks, but not the kangaroos yet.
Kangaroo Jack.
Yeah, kangaroo jack.
You're Gold Coast, right?
Yeah. Moved up to the Gold Coast 6 months ago now.
Byron
so
Bay.
Never been there yet.
What?
I
Favorite
know.
place.
That's the place to be.
That's in my opinion.
Have to see that. Have to see about that. Test it out.
So we've got Jay, Jeremy, Rob, and Brandon hidden. What do you see out of these guys, and who do you think is gonna really make a big move here? Push.
I mean, Brandon's been solid this whole event so far, and swinging it good ball shape, good numbers as well. So I feel like I feel like Brandon's the one to beat today on this set.
Looks like it. He might hit
210 ball
look
speed.
at that. Good apex.
Yeah, a little like a slight east wind, and these 340s are 360s and 370s.
Tell you what, though, these boys are working up a sweat.
Oh yeah,
Hot
no,
out
it's
there.
humid. It's humid.
Wait.
Brandon Flynn, I think that's Brandon's longest ball right
Yeah.
now. Is 353 yards. So that's a big ball right now at 210 ball speed.
He's getting into a rhythm. We're seeing this right now.
Just building off each shot.
That'll put him at 500 points if he ends up taking down this set.
All right, Seb. What is your celebration when you win that first event? We saw Martin run with the belt.
With the belt.
What are you going to do when you win?
Honestly, I feel like it's going to be one of those like blackout sort of moments where you just do whatever.
Yeah.
And you just
You can
just
do the
watch
Harry
it- you watch
Higgs,
it back
take
on
your
the
shirt
video.
off.
Rugby is definitely not soccer in Australia. We were kidding. By the way.
Yeah. You Americans take
basketball,
everything
actually.
so literally.
Well, we got to know where King Tut's from. Where are you from? You know, that's pretty funny though. Yeah, we joke around and yeah, we talk about European. We'll call it European soccer. You know,
European soccer.
But yeah, we got Seb Twadel here. I mean, currently the fastest man in the world. The fastest man. What's that title feel like?
I mean, like, yeah, I'm humbled by like what I've done with it, but it's like I said, just getting started and still lots more speed, lots of improvements to come. And yeah,
That's tough to start as the fastest man in the world, and you're just getting started. Pretty sure you've got some people shaking a little bit.
that's the goal. That's the goal. Change it up.
We talked about it on today's Thursday. You know, got to keep advancing through these rounds and making adjustments on the fly. And as I said, if I had to sit there and if I was coaching you, I was like, I'd like to see you hit it. Like these guys, like these numbers are giving you a lot of data back. You know, hit it 160, 100 feet in the air, 180 feet in the air, lowered the spin rates, and for me, like I said, just tightening up that dispersion, you know, left to right, and things that I've watched like Martin Borgmeyer do in their training sessions and Kyle Berkshire's that they're working on going out in baseball terms out over the short or second baseman's head where they're trying to swing out right, and I've watched them get a lot better at hitting
Tidying
the grid.
everything up and just through that.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to see Kyle's speed sessions, God knows how many times, and I know that it's something that he really focuses on is trying to hit that inside half of the golf ball and swing out right. And I think once you figure that out, you're gonna be there deep in these tournaments because you're plenty fast enough.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, how
it's
can
just
you
finding
tone
in those little details and just maximizing the speed to actually hitting that shot.
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna see a different Seb Twadel here in 6 months from now. I can guarantee you that because he's going to be hitting a lot of balls in competition, and the most important thing is to stay healthy and take care of your body. But I mean those practice sessions really mean something, and
They do. They all add up, and
you definitely have the speed.
Yeah, just eat more gummy bears.
exactly.
Eat more lollies.
That's the key to speed.
Yeah.
So we see these guys, watching them, each of them have a trigger before they swing the club. What's your trigger before you take that club back?
That's right now I don't really have one.
No?
It's just trying to move the whole swing back as one piece, and
Yeah.
if anything, that triggers like that sort of pump.
That
motion,
pump, yeah.
We
pump
just saw
motion.
Martin Borgmeyer, 226 in the air, 13 launch, 218. He's cruising right now. Like to see what that number is.
Yeah, it's going to be a big ball.
That one looked pretty good there. We have Flight Scope in the house providing all of this data, which makes our job very easy here in the booth. And it is. It's like you're putting pieces to the puzzle as this tournament goes on. What's working, what's not working. And I know that. Did it benefit you listening to the telecast like when you were competing last tournament in Mesquite?
It did, yeah. It's one of just screen record every set from the last telecast, and honestly, looking back at the yesterday's one, I actually didn't realize how high the ball was flying, like 280 feet or whatever it was. It's so just a few,
That's really high.
That's really that's pretty damn high, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool to have, Flight Scope and Bridgestone being able to alter, because you guys are doing stuff that has never been done in the game.
And actually seeing the numbers behind that, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's really good. We have Martin that just hit a big one.
That was a good one. Almost 223 ball speed, hit it 220, 30 feet in the air, 369. That is the longest drive of the set. He ties the longest drive of the set to himself. But yeah, 370 is an absolute bomb, and you're looking at the fastest guys right now being Zach Holton and Justin James and Martin Borgmeyer taking down these sets. Reed Russell is in the pocket right now of around 215 to 218, and Reed a little bit lower ball flight than he's accustomed to, or what I'm accustomed to seeing, because Reed Russell normally, him and Colton Castle were practically the same hitter, hitting 220 feet in the air, those big old sweeping draws, and now he's lowered. Reed Russell's lowered his ball flight, and he's hitting it pretty much dead straight.
Yeah, it's all about ball flight. But we're going to see you guys here right after this break. Hopefully, Seb will stay with us for the last round, for the next round.
Introducing the new Bridgestone E9 Long Drive. Co-designed by world long drive athletes to push the limits of distance. Thanks to extreme ball speed and superior aerodynamic flight. Engineered for you to hit your longest drive. Drive the new E9 Long Drive. Extreme distance for your game.
I should have talked about cricket.
That's a different game, too. We're talking about cricket. We're joking around. TJ Allison, Australian rules football equals tennis. Someone get Seb Volvic West Campo.
Do have some Volvics. We got to handle some Volvics.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fast golf ball, but I mean, the left dash is a fast golf ball as well. I mean, I feel like ball speed records have been made with that ball.
It'll be interesting to see if there is any difference with it, but yeah, left dash is a...
Yeah, but you know what's a really good golf ball? The Bridgestone B9
even
golf
better
ball. It
golf
is
ball.
flying
Best
straight.
one in the
It is
world.
flying long. The greatest golf ball in the history of life is the Bridgestone B9, the greatest launch monitor on the planet. Flight scope. Oh, there you go, guys. You're welcome.
They're even here monitoring
Yeah, what a
everything.
coincidence. The best ones that you set up.
Justine's like going like this right now. She's so excited. You're welcome, Justine.
One of the coolest things about Bridgestone is that they're working with the players, with you guys, to make sure that the ball is optimal.
Best it can be,
yeah,
optimal,
so that's you don't find
really
that
cool.
with a lot of different different companies.
So we'll update the bracket. Martin Borgmeyer safely in with all wins. He is 9 for 9. Justin James, 700 points. Zach Holden, Brandon Flynn, Reed Russell, Sean Johnson, Isaiah Joyner. They look extreme. Isaiah Joyner just has to hit a ball and play, and he's definitely in, because the only guy that can catch him is Sam Antanasio with a win. So Isaiah Joyner, he hits a bunt, he's in. Sean Johnson's in. Reed Russell, Brandon Flynn, Zach Holton, Justin James, and Martin Borgmeyer have made it to the round of 16. The guys looking in, I mean, anybody, even a 175 guy can get in. Tietmeyer can get in. Stubbs could potentially get in. Yeah, I mean, 8 down to 15 or 16 can actually still mathematically get in. Isaiah Joyner just has to hit one ball in play. So right now, if Jay Hostalski takes down the win, he would have 400 points, which would force Sam Antanasio to get a win to get in. Jeremy Nowak has to get a win. Sam Judah. Big set here. Matt Stubbs is at 150. He's on the outside looking in, but if he does take down this set, he would be in the lead. He would be on the bubble at the number 8 spot at 350 points. Sam Antanasio, he controls his destiny right now, because if he wins, he would be at 475 and no one could catch him. So a win from Sam Antanasio would get him into the tournament.
All right, Seb, what do you think Matt's thinking here right now? You know him better than anyone else.
He'd just be thinking about his processes and just feeling the shot. But
just put a good
he's
one in play.
Yeah, he put a good ball up there, so he's just going to build off that, and can expect
This is
some
a
good
big
balls
set.
coming now.
Isaiah Joyner's already in, because the only guy that can time is Sam Antanasio at 8. So Isaiah Joyner, Sean Johnson, Reed Russell, Brandon Flynn, Zach Holton, Justin James, and Martin Borgmeyer have advanced. Jay Hostalski's goes at 358, which is a humongous drive right now. He'll put him at 400. So the only guys that can get to 400 would be Jeremy Nowak and Sam Judah. Sam Judah and Nowak can max out at 450 points. Sam Antanasio still does not have a number on the board. Matt Stubbs, that's his number, 346.
Nice. All right, we have another YouTube question, and I think everyone knows that Aussies see best at night. So, because of that, do you play night golf?
I've never played night golf. We don't have night golf back in Australia.
No.
Nah, we don't.
Well,
you'll
be here. You'll be here in the States for a while.
Exactly. So we can we can find a few night golfs.
That would actually be amazing to have a night golf world long drive. With the
seeing those ball flights,
the LED balls, yeah,
just staying in the air forever.
I don't know if you guys would be able to keep those whole. I could definitely see you guys breaking those.
We've taken a few LED balls like the Top Golf back home, and you just see it just stays in the air forever. Those lights, it's pretty cool.
Well, maybe that's the goal for 2024 is a night world long drive event.
Just mix it up.
J.Hel Stowski now is going to be on the bubble. He will be in 8th place. So the guys that can get in this next set, we got Sam Judah, Jeremy Nowak, Jacob Galladay, and Colton Kalkanis. Let's take a peek at where Kalkanis is at. If Kalkanis wins, he would be tied with J.Hel Stowski at 400 points. If Nowak wins or Sam Judah, they're in. They're going to knock out J.Hel Stowski. So these are huge sets for Sam Judah and Jeremy Nowak. Colton Kalkanis can still get in at 200 points. He can win, and he would be tied with J.Hel Stowski, so they would go into a playoff.
We haven't seen a playoff yet.
Yeah, this is a big set here. So, yeah, Jacob Galladay looks like he has been mathematically eliminated. So the guys that are still in are Sam Judah, Jeremy Nowak, and Colton Kalkanis in this set. If Nowak or Sam Judah wins, the final 8 have been set. So Isaiah Joyner doesn't have to hit a ball in play. Big set for Sam Judah. Just curious to see if he's going to move that ball up. Jeremy Nowak has no issue whatsoever hitting the golf ball high. He has plenty of height on his golf ball. Let's see if Sam can get it up. He's the fastest guy on the tee box currently by probably 4 or 5 mile per hour. Let's take a peek at Jeremy Nowak in slot number 2, the swing man. High ball here, miss hit, 205.
Down the right side.
Sam Judah with a little bit of a cut. That was kind of his miss.
Yeah.
At the Worlds was that left to right. Let's see if he can straighten it out just a little bit. Plenty fast enough.
167 feet apex.
Sam Judah has a number on the board, and right now that's extremely important.
Especially coming out the gate with the first ball. Now he can kind of
just getting away early. Just
put everything behind it.
So we look at Sam Judah. He's at 339. Galladay's longest drive is 340. Can you hear me? Okay, all right, we're good.
Yeah, these guys are definitely going at it.
Sam Judah's, this is a good ball for Sam Judah. He just didn't hit it high enough, but I think this is going to get into the mid-340s, which is still a good ball. 114 feet in the air. It said it carried on Flight Scope 350, but still, there's absolutely no wind right now, and it is very, very humid. There's still a little bit of dew on the ground currently, but Sam Judah with a bullet right down the middle, needed to hit a little bit higher. Yeah, right at 350. Nowak can get to that number. Nowak's longest drive of the day is 351, so if he center punches one, he's got a chance. Nowak is OB right. Sam Judah. Might have hurt his back. Not good.
All right. Hopefully he knows where he sits right now. I can kind of just hit a little dinker. He actually doesn't even have to hit this.
Yeah, he doesn't need to hit. Yeah, Sam Judah just hurt himself. And that's not good. If I was Sam, I just wouldn't hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, watch that final ball and see if he has to do anything, but he didn't have to do anything.
Oh, no, yeah. Not good. And that was a 220 mile per hour ball there, too. Sam Judah is going to get into the round of 16. Hopefully he can recover. He's going to have about 24 hours, probably 28 hours to recover from looks like a back issue. But Sam Judah in at 350 yards. Martin Borgmeyer, Justin James, Zach Holton, Brandon Flynn, Reed Russell, Sean Johnson, Isaiah Joyner, and Sam Judah are going to get into the round of 16. The field has been set.
Fingers crossed it's more just like a cramp rather than actual sort of back issue.
Let's take a
all
peek.
that
If you guys
speed.
have any more questions for Seb Twadel, he's in the booth.
If you could have any superpower, I feel like you already have one in long drive being the fastest, but if you could have any other superpower in the sport, what would it be?
In the sport,
In the sport.
optimize every shot.
The
With
optimizer.
Speed. Optimizer, yeah.
You want
That's a
you're
good
gonna
na-
get
that's
that
a good
nickname.
name, yeah. We'll,
Seb the optimizer.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
You don't want a 3-putt? No more 3-putts?
Not a golfer anymore. Don't need to worry about all that sort of stuff, luckily.
You're driving for dough now.
Yeah, just focus on the one club. Way is in 14.
Absolutely, yeah. If I had one superpower, I mean, yeah, it has to be ball speed. I mean, it has to.
I mean, you got some pretty good numbers the other day on the range.
Yeah, I mean, I was crazy. Like
Getting
we
it
were
out.
we were talking about when Kyle essentially debuted the LD30 Plus. That was like a 236 to 240 CPM shaft, and
Yeah.
I know that guys like Bobby Wilson, guys that you probably haven't, the guys, the legends of the sport, you know, guys that have won multiple world championships in the senior division, Hall of Famers, they were using softer setups, so they already had the secret per se, and but you know, Kyle debuting at like a 240 CPM shaft, which was soft, and now guys like the one that we hit on the range that had to have been 190, 200 at best. I mean, it was like
38
literally
grams and
super light.
yeah.
And, because Carl Walter winning world championships with 80-gram shafts, and probably a lot of the guys that came before that, Joe Miller just hitting like literally light poles, and it's completely changed over the last 15, 20 years.
Oh, it's been crazy. Like when I first started, I thought stiffer shaft the better for long drive, so I literally bought like a 4X shaft, which was like a light post.
It is,
like
and
no movement
It's
whatsoever.
hard to kind of control that.
There is nothing behind it at all.
Yeah.
No control.
Yeah, it beats you up. I mean, you're swinging as hard as you can, and those clubs, your ribs hurt. a lot of
the full body
parts
hurts
hurt.
for next few
If
days.
you want an
after
ab
those.
workout, do that.
For sure.
Just swing a light post.
Let's take a peek at what everybody's asking in here. How many shafts have you broken?
Only 4.
That's good.
Only 4, not many. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tip of the cap to all the manufacturers. You got Patterson, House of Forge. You got a lot of guys using Acker right now as well. And then you were the shaft that you ended up breaking.
The one I broke the other day was the.
Not broke,
height.
but no.
Oh, the free flex.
Yeah.
Yeah, free flex. Yeah, that's holding up real good actually. That's had probably a couple hundred hits on it, and at those sort of speeds, and yeah, it's going strong.
Yeah, so tip of the cap to all the shaft companies out there. I mean, these things are super stable, and they don't break. I mean, back in the day, a lot of guys
Just
would have these
snap.
massive recoils where they would
The
bounce the
recoils
shaft
is
off
where
the
it's-
hip.
Yeah.
Now,
Someone-
Kyle, we always talked about Kyle. Like,
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness,
just,
yes.
Oh, God.
Someone needs to put a compilation of every single
It's
snap.
scary.
Yeah, because
2000.
those are all the way into the stands.
Yeah. It's just when it like hits the back, the hand's just pulling down. It's just nowhere for it to go.
Yep.
Apart
Yeah.
from
The
in
shaft
2
technology
pieces.
has definitely improved over the years. So shout out to Robert Kent, Jason Oradesky, and
all
they've
the
been around a
shaft.
really long time, and they've been super successful in this sport. I mean, even like I said, the Fuji's back in the day. Fuji's
yeah.
still with cranking them. Good shafts. But Zach Holton, where is he at? He's at 650 points. He could potentially win this, but Martin's been on as far as outright, but Martin is looked great. He's gone 9 for 9 so far. In baseball terms, he's thrown a perfect game, but you're not allowed to talk about perfect games. I used to say that when I was pitching. If I had a no-hitter or a perfect game, I would just say it in the dugout because everybody's thinking it. But I only ended up with two no-hitters and
Just
a bunch
stir
of
the pot a
one-hitters.
bit. Yeah.
All right, we're looking at these guys putting up some consistent ball speed. Zach Holton, as always.
341.
Just got to find one in the grid. I think this one might be it.
Bry Roberts is in the house. Look forward to seeing Bry hit. I mean, Bry's tough. He hits a nice mid ball flat, good ball flight. So we'll see Bry Roberts. I had the honor and privilege to compete against him in 2018. We were out and we were in China, and he wasn't in Dubai, but London. Got to meet him there, and we got to walk around with Bryson last year at the Open Championship. It was fun. So, Bry Roberts will be competing next week, and a really, really good hitter. One of the best on the planet that not too many people know about, just because he hasn't been able to come over to the States, but hopefully he will be here soon. back to the action real quick. Sean Johnson, he's in. Zach Holton, 365. So
He's
the guys that you expect to be putting up the biggest numbers in the set are doing that. Martin Borgmeyer, Justin James, and Zach Holton.
They're just having some fun. Okay, so if it's going to be this humid, you know, and you know that coming into, what's the proper color clothes to wear?
Oh, see, that's
Because we're seeing these
Yeah.
guys sweat it out.
That's
I
not
mean,
Rob
if we're
Tietmeyer's.
going off looks,
He
darker
jumped
colors are
into
better.
into the water there.
Tietmeyer is sweating, but he's from here. He can handle it.
He can definitely handle it.
He's
got
not,
his girls here
Yeah.
supporting him.
Zach Holton cruising along, 850 points after taking down this win here. Sean Johnson, 356. Rob Tietmeyer, 334. Isaiah Joyner, 347. So Isaiah Joyner mentioned in the beginning of the set that he might have to hit one ball and play, but he was safe at 475 points before even hitting in the round of the 5th round.
This is going to be a fun group here. This is our, what is this, our final group? Yep.
Yep.
All these guys are
fast
already
group.
in.
All studs. All winners. So Brandon Flynn has multiple wins with the PLDA. Reed Russell, one with the PLDA. Justin James has got wins across World Long Drive and PLDA. And Martin Borgmeyer has got a world championship and multiple wins. He ended up winning, Martin won in Denver. He won in Utah. And, regular season wins in Mesquite. So,
Who are you putting your money on this round?
honestly, I think it's about conserving energy. It just doesn't. This set doesn't really matter.
Pretty much all through.
The only thing that I would work on right now is based off of these guys are going to be hitting at. You guys are hitting at 2 o'clock, or the guys are hitting at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So the conditions are going to be different. So, if I'm Martin, what would I be working on right now? Nothing really. Just hit
getting it
6
out
good
there.
balls. I don't think we're going to be seeing
Just
big
build that
speed
momentum
numbers
into
here.
tomorrow, and
I think they're just going to stay in the pocket. Martin's going to be right around 220. He might step on the gas a little bit, but I doubt it. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Brandon Flynn,
It would actually be a lot of fun to watch them just do.
if I was Brandon Flynn,
kind
I'd
of
try to
soft
launch it.
swings, just
Yeah.
like be fun with it. But obviously they're taking this round to practice on stuff.
I'm watching, like I said, if I'm going to key in on one guy, I would key in on Brandon Flynn, just because his ball speed's 208 to 210. I would just work on maybe trying to launch it higher if I was Brandon. That would be
Yeah.
the only one, like if I was working on something in him, and maybe even Reed Russell. Let's try to get the launch up to 13, 14, and up to 200 feet in the air. So
when we talk about launch and getting that ball up a little bit higher, I know there's a few different ways to do that. That can be with club head, that can be with tee height, that can be with the combination of changing those. How do you change your ball flight?
well, honestly, that is something I really need to figure out.
That's what
to
you're working
change
on.
that. Yeah,
Okay,
need to
nice.
work on that. But I'll be happy to give some of these guys some of my height if it means lowering mine. But,
yeah, Justin James just hit one 215 feet in the air. So JJ might be working on height as well, and he ended up hitting the longest drive of the set of the tournament so far, or round robin, at 370 yards. So
Wow.
JJ hit that one 220 feet in the air. So he might have come and is like, listen, I'm gonna stay in the pocket of 216 to 218, but I'm gonna try to launch it higher and see what numbers are being produced, which is the longest drive.
do you know what lofts these guys are running at the moment, or?
I don't.
That's what
Marty Borgie, 240. 220 or 221.7, 211 in the air, 2600 spin. This is an optimized golf ball. Curious to see if this one went farther.
I think he just took the furthest of the day.
Justin James with 2 balls at 370 yards. Martin Borgmeyer stepping on the gas there at 368 yards. And then it comes down to a spin game. Borgmeyer at 2,800 spin on this last ball.
They are putting their back into it.
Little speed contest to finish up.
Yeah. Justin
220,
James,
215.
376. So JJ putting a lot of balls in play. Looks phenomenal. That's number 5 of the day.
We've got a solid group. Zach Martin, Justin James, Sean Johnson, Isaiah Joyner, Brandon Flynn, Reed Russell, and Sam Judah going on to the rounds of 16. That is it for this first group. We will be back at 10 to watch who else will be joining these guys tomorrow.
Seb.
Thanks.
Introducing World Long Drive International memberships. World Long Drive welcomes all of their international affiliates as part of the World Long Drive family. With an international membership, our worldwide competitors now have the ability to compete in internationally sanctioned World Long Drive events, the ability to earn world ranking points, plus all of the great community membership benefits. Sign up for an international membership today at worldlongdrive.com. All pro memberships include the ability to compete in international World Long Drive sanctioned events. Learn more at worldlongdrive.com. Looking to compete on the World Long Drive Tour for the largest prize purses in World Long Drive history? Pro and amateur members can compete in their respective divisions all summer long as World Long Drive kicks off their 2023 tour. Visit worldlongdrive.com to become a member and view all the registration dates for upcoming tour events.
Good place to get golf as well. Doesn't sound like the worst. Yeah, like good warm weather as well. So just like my own, but yeah, we'll see how we go with that.
How's this considered steep? 600 points.